Imagine a place where time never moved forward. No internet, no smartphones, no governments, no modern cities, no connection to the outside world. Now imagine that this place still exists today. Not hundreds of years ago, not in some forgotten chapter of history. Right now, at this very moment, while billions of people scroll through social media, watch videos, and communicate instantly across continents, a small group of people lives almost exactly as their ancestors did thousands of years ago. Hidden deep in the Indian Ocean lies an island so mysterious that most of the world has never seen it. An island protected not by military forces or advanced technology, but by bows, arrows, and a fierce determination to remain alone. Anyone who approaches is warned. Anyone who gets too close is driven away, and some never return. This is the story of North Sentinel Island, one of the most isolated places on Earth, a place where the modern world ends and the ancient world still survives. From space, North Sentinel Island doesn't look special. It appears as a small green patch surrounded by crystal blue water, a tropical paradise, the kind of place people dream of visiting. But appearances can be deceiving. Beneath the thick jungle canopy lives one of the most mysterious tribes on Earth, the Sentinelese. Experts believe they may have lived in isolation for tens of thousands of years. Nobody knows exactly how many people live there. Some estimates suggest only a few dozen. Others believe there may be over 100. The truth is, no one really knows. And that's exactly what makes the island so fascinating. In an age when satellites can photograph almost every corner of the planet, there are still people we know almost nothing about. Imagine stepping into a time machine. Not one that takes you back a few centuries, but one that transports you tens of thousands of years into the past. That's the closest comparison scientists can make when describing the Sentinelese. Their ancestors may have arrived in this region during one of humanity's earliest migrations out of Africa. If that theory is correct, they have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations without ever becoming part of them. They were alive before the pyramids, before ancient Greece, before the Roman Empire, before written history itself. Entire civilizations appeared, changed the world, and disappeared. Yet the Sentinelese remained, generation after generation, living on the same island, following the same traditions, protected by the same forests and surrounding seas. It is one of the greatest examples of human isolation ever known. For thousands of years, the Sentinelese lived undisturbed. Then came the outsiders. In the late 19th century, British colonial officers arrived in the Andaman Islands. Curiosity drove them toward North Sentinel Island. One expedition landed on the island and captured several tribe members. They were taken away from their home and exposed to diseases their bodies had never encountered before. The results were tragic. Some became seriously ill, others died. The survivors were eventually returned, but historians believe that event may have changed everything. Imagine witnessing strangers arrive from the sea, taking members of your community, and bringing death with them. Would you ever trust outsiders again? Perhaps this is why the Sentinelese remain hostile today. Perhaps they learned a painful lesson long ago. Throughout the 20th century, various attempts were made to establish contact. Researchers brought gifts, coconuts, food, tools. They hoped kindness would build trust. Instead, they were met with arrows, again and again. The message never changed. Stay away. Leave us alone. Many people see this behavior as aggression, but others see something different. A people defending their home, their culture, their way of life. Think about it. Nearly every indigenous culture on Earth has faced outside influence. Some were conquered. Some were displaced, some disappeared completely. Yet the Sentinelese have resisted all of it. They may be one of the last truly independent societies left on Earth. On December 26, 2004, disaster struck. A massive earthquake beneath the Indian Ocean triggered one of the deadliest tsunamis in recorded history. Entire towns vanished. Hundreds of thousands of people died. The waves devastated coastlines across multiple countries. As news spread around the world, a question emerged. What happened to the Sentinelese? Many feared the worst. The island was small. The tsunami was enormous. Surely nobody could survive. Days later, a helicopter flew over the island to assess the damage. Then something extraordinary happened. A man emerged from the trees. He looked up at the aircraft, raised a bow, and aimed an arrow at the helicopter. In that single moment, the world received its answer. The Sentinelese were alive. They had survived one of nature's most devastating disasters, and they still wanted to be left alone. In 2018, the world once again focused on North Sentinel Island. A young American missionary named John Allen Chow believed he could establish contact with the tribe. Governments warned against it. Experts warned against it. The law prohibited it. But he went anyway. He paid fishermen to take him near the island. He carried gifts. He carried hope. He believed he could build a bridge between two worlds. But North Sentinel Island had a different answer. Witnesses later reported seeing tribe members confront him on the beach. After that, he was never seen again. His disappearance sparked a global debate. Was he courageous or reckless? Did he seek connection, or did he underestimate the dangers of disturbing an isolated people? The questions remain controversial even today. Most people assume modern civilization should contact every isolated tribe. But scientists disagree. The reason is surprisingly simple. Disease. A common cold, the flu, even minor infections. For most of us, these illnesses are manageable. For the Sentinelese, they could be catastrophic. History provides countless examples. Entire indigenous populations were devastated after exposure to outside diseases. Some lost half their population. Others vanished completely. The Sentinelese have no immunity to many modern illnesses. One careless visit could wipe out an entire culture. That's why governments now enforce strict exclusion zones around the island. The goal isn't to keep the world out. It's to keep the Sentinelese alive. Today, humanity can explore distant planets. We can map the ocean floor. We can communicate with spacecraft millions of miles away. Yet one of our greatest mysteries remains on a tiny island in the Indian Ocean. Who are the Sentinelese? What stories do they tell? What language do they speak? What do they believe about the world beyond their shores? We may never know. And perhaps that's okay. Because not every mystery needs to be solved. Sometimes the greatest respect we can show is to leave something untouched, to allow a people to choose their own future. Far from cities, far from technology, far from the noise of modern civilization. On a small island, hidden among the waves, the Sentinelese continue to live as they always have. Unseen, unchanged, and utterly mysterious. North Sentinel Island remains one of the last places on Earth where humanity's ancient past still walks beside the present.